My mom was the strongest person I've ever known. She was this powerhouse woman. She was in charge of everything, and she seemed to know everything. When I was in college, if my friends had a question about life, like, I don't know, something about taxes or bank accounts or health insurance or whatever, I'd be like, let me call my mom, and she always knew the answer. And everyone was always really impressed by that, and I was really proud of it. On 4th of July and Christmas, she threw parties like nobody's business. It was like it was her job. In fact, it probably should have been her job because she was so good at it. She just organized everything, and everyone would turn to her and be like, what do I do? What's my job? And she just give you your list of things that you have to do. She just ran everything. One thing I always noticed, and something that a lot of people said to me at her wake, was that they could always go to her for anything. And her example of how to be, or how she lived her life, made me who I am today, and I didn't even realize it when I was growing up. That just seeing her do it is what made me strong. And she didn't necessarily understand my fascination with comedy or filmmaking. She always said she was proud of me. She always encouraged me to keep going. Any accomplishment I made, she was just super, super proud, even if she didn't really get it. And I feel like I was really lucky because I always had encouragement from her, even when she didn't quite understand me. I was a pretty weird kid. I gave the eulogy at her wake, which is probably the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and the scariest thing. I didn't sleep 2 nights before it. And I talked about all of these things that I've just mentioned. And I was thinking about it later, and I realized that I never put all of those thoughts about her together in one place until I was going to lose her. I actually couldn't write the thing until she passed away. I knew I wanted to do it, but it took her actually passing away for me to sit down and write it. I mean, I thought extremely highly of her my whole life. I respected her so much. I mean, when I was little, she said to me, I hope none of my kids ever smoke or drink. And I said, okay. And then when kids wanted me to have a cigarette or a beer, I said no, and they said, why? And I said, because my mom asked me not to. And they'd laugh at me, but I was like, what? But I definitely didn't realize what an impact she was having on me while she was having it. Or, while I was growing up, I just didn't get it, really. Really, I was like most kids. I'd get pissed off at her when she wouldn't let me go do things I wanted to do, like go to the club, which was a popular thing to do in New Jersey, and she ruled that out 100%. You're never going to a club, and I never did. And that was probably for the best. At the time, I was mad because it was stuff that my friends wanted me to do, and then I had to be the one who didn't get to go do that. But she was really just trying to keep me safe, and it was that way for everything, and sometimes she was probably a little overprotective or thought I was hanging out with the wrong people, and she was wrong, but she was really just trying to keep me safe, and I totally get that now. And I posted the eulogy that I gave to my blog, and I got so many messages from people saying, oh, she sounds like a really amazing woman and stuff like that, and I totally agree, but I just feel the need to clarify that I didn't always see it that way. I didn't always think that my mom was this amazing woman. No, she was my mom. She was annoying. She called me all the time. She wanted to know everything about my life. She didn't let me do the things I wanted to do, and all that like teen angst crap that is just sort of a given in life. I was that way too. It was the same for me. We weren't like best friends like on the Gilmore Girls. I mean, I didn't tell her every little thing, and she wasn't friends with my friends. She was my mom. She was an authority over me, and she did a damn good job of keeping me safe and raising me with a good head on my shoulders. I mean, if I had a blog, if Tumblr had existed when I was growing up, I would have been complaining about her just as much as all y'all that I see you putting up posts complaining about, oh, my mom is making me clean my room or whatever. All that stuff that parents do that we hate them for at the time. I would have been just the same. And I only say that because I want you to realize that your mom or your dad or your guardian, whoever's taking care of you, is likely just as amazing as my mom was. And perhaps you just don't see it yet. Now, having said that, I know that there are exceptions to that. There are some parents that mess up. They screw up. And they make it hard to love them, to feel compassion for them. But that brings me to a very important point. Parents are human. They are only human. Parents are people who decided to have kids and are hopefully doing the best that they can do. And they're just like everyone else. They have dreams and fears and regrets, and they don't necessarily have all the answers to life's problems. No one does. It's their job to raise you, and that is a very difficult job. I mean, think about the enormous amount of pressure that's put on someone when they decide to raise another human life. It's a big responsibility, and guess what? No one's perfect at it. My mom certainly wasn't perfect. That would be a ridiculous claim to make. But the older I get, the more I come to realize how well she prepared me for life. And the older I get, the more I realize how much I am just like her, which is a good thing, I think. Because you could say, oh, I'm turning into my mom, but really you're a whole different person, and you're made up of little bits and pieces of everyone and everything that you've come into contact with your entire life. And that's awesome. You get to be a compilation. You get to be a best of. And your parents are a best of based on everything that they came in contact with and all the people that taught them when they were growing up. And if you're young, or maybe even if you're a little older and you haven't come to it yet, one day you can look back and realize and appreciate all of the people and things that make up who you are, that influence who you turned out to be. That all starts getting very clear as you get older. I totally understand what it's like to be young and to feel like you can't do anything you want because your mom says so. I don't expect any of you to watch this video and immediately be able to accept when your mom grounds you and doesn't let you do this one thing that you really want to do, or nags you to clean your room or whatever. I just want you to know that your mom or your dad or whatever guardian is raising you is special because they either brought you into this world or took on the impossible task of raising you and making you into an excellent human being. And that relationship is the most important relationship you'll ever have in your whole life. Absolutely. So I think that you should find a way to feel compassion for them and find a way to love them while you still have them. Thanks for watching.